How we doing, guys? My name is ADC Art Attack and welcome to today's video. In today's video I'm going to be giving you a tutorial lesson on how to draw the proportions of Dragon Ball characters. And the reason I'm doing this is because you guys have been requesting it and I think it's about time I obliged and brought you one. Because I do get asked how do I draw the legs and how do I draw the torso, etc, etc. So let's get into what I've got right here because this is important and you will need to know this. This is what I have in my mind when I draw. This is something that you guys should get into your mind and you should learn this. So I've done this ahead of time, just to save time really. But this is what I want you guys to get down and what I want you to do and to remember. I'll explain what this is. What I've got here is I've got 4 lines. Each one of these lines is equal distance apart. They are 5 centimeters apart from each other. Now you don't need to worry about the measurements or how big or how small, whatever, blah blah blah. Just make an educated guess on how far apart each one of these lines are. You want them equal distance apart and you want 4 of these lines. Equal distance apart, that's all you need to know. 4 of these lines, we got them done. Now what do these lines represent? Okay, so the top line here is the top of the head. We don't include the hair as the top of the head, so ignore the hair. This is about the top of the head, so we want to draw a little circle. So draw the circle, top of the head there, and we want to bring it down to about halfway. We will come up a little bit higher than halfway perhaps, but let's go to halfway for now. So we got a circle, we got halfway. We move on to our second line. Our second line, now this is for Goku specifically, but this will work with other characters. And you know, if you have a question on what character, just ask me in the ask me in the comments, and I'll probably get to you. But this second line represents the top of the belt for Goku. Now, if you don't know what the belt is for Goku, I'm just going to quickly draw out what it looks like. It's there. There's a little belt, and what I did this little prism shape. The reason I did this is just to help out a little bit. It comes down to about halfway between the. You don't have to do that little shape, but I did that just for a keepsake, just so I know what I'm doing. Okay. And also, because you're probably gonna wonder, why have I done it this far apart? Why is the waist this far apart? Well, I just made an educated guess, and I assumed it would be that far apart. I just went a little bit outside of this this circle, and that's where I found the spot, and that's what I'd recommend you do. Just come a little bit outside this circle, and there you go. Alright, so moving on to the third line, what we've got here is the kneecaps. Now, we want to draw 2 little circles on this line. These are our kneecaps. It's pretty self-explanatory, we know what they are. And down here, just above this line actually, we've got 2 little circles down here, and these represent the feet. More specifically, the heel of the feet. Right here is the heel. Now, we know that the base of the foot, the heel of the foot, the back of the foot is going to be here. Okay, so no matter how we draw Goku now, we know where that's going to be. Now, his feet might come below this line, they might go above this line, they might go any which way depending on the posture that he's going to be standing in. But we got the basics now. So let's start filling out some other details, right? So we want to work out the shoulder distance. Okay, now bear in mind, guys, this is going to be a very in-depth guide, so I want you guys to stick around and to really get this concept, because you need to understand this and keep this in mind when you're doing your characters. You need to bear this in mind and remember all of these points. It's a lot to take on, so you know, watch this video a few times, yay. But yeah, so what we want to do is we want to get this circle that we've just done. The distance between this center point that we've got here. Oh, I did draw a midline as well. You can do this midline because it will help you out. But I did a midline and maybe some lines here for the arms and the legs if you wish. So yeah, the distance between the midline to the outside of the circle is the same distance between the outside of the circle here would give us our sort of collarbone. So this is where the collarbone would stop and the shoulder would begin. Okay, so we got that, and we can draw a straight line right across here because that will represent the collarbone, the sort of area right across the neck where things are going to fall on. For example, the neck muscle, where that's going to fall on, we can work that out by doing this. All we're going to do is we'll draw the neck, and then we can just draw the muscle coming down here. So now we know where that goes. Okay, now this isn't going to be a video showing you how to draw the details of the muscles and everything. I've done videos like that in the past. If you guys want to know how to do that, you can check out my videos in the past. But this is just for the proportions, not the details. So don't expect an amazing drawing right here, guys. This is purely for the body structure and the clothes. Okay, so we know what the collarbone is going to be. So we can sort of figure out, or in fact what we should do, is sort of draw a little prism shape again, because, yep, prisms do help out. Okay, so yeah, we got that going. Now let's start working out some details here, because I like to work with a few minor details which will help put everything else in place. So when I come over to this point here, in the middle, I sort of want to do a little tick, a little Nike tick, just there. Okay, now come up just a tiny bit, so about here. You don't need to go too high. You can judge how high you want to go with this, but I think about there is fair. We want to go over at a sort of nice angle. We don't want too much of a harsh angle. We want to go off over here and bring it right up and just around where we drew the neck muscle. Now coming over from this, is this straight by the way? Yeah, it is. Okay, now let's work on to the blue part of the clothing. So this will be the undershirt. Again, make a fair guess on where you want to go. I've not actually got my reference present in front of me right now, so this may not be the most accurate drawing, but please, yeah, enjoy. I do remember quite a lot, so yeah, I did have a practice drawing of this, so I can draw this without the reference in front of me a second time. So it's pretty cool. I am doing the chest here just for my own keepsake because I like to include details when I draw. So you don't necessarily have to do this, but that gives me an idea on what I'm doing next. Okay, so let's move over to this. And the shirt will come out just a little bit there, and just a little bit here. And we can sort of figure out now how we want to do this. So we bring this sort of the same distance that we've got going on here between these 2 points is the same distance I want to come out with this on a slight angle. So when I come there, I can go down a little bit, bring this one up to that point and come in there. So I've sort of got this little bit of the shirt going on. Okay, we'll move on to the other side and we'll do the exact same thing. So let's fill out a little detail in here. So we've got the same little distance here. We want to bring it across, come down here. We know that that's where the shirt's going to be, so we'll bring this up to that little point there. We can do some little details in here if you'd like. And again, there's our shirt. Okay, so we sort of know how the gi's going to look now. And there we go. That's a little bit straighter, isn't it? So we sort of know where the gi is and the outfit. Okay, we can work on the arms if you'd like. I like to wait a little bit before we go into this, just for the tutorial's sake. So I'm just going to do this little bit of sort of shoulder area. Okay, so there's that. And we'll get onto the arms when we move on to the other sections. So let's come down to the legs and figure out how we're going to do these legs. Okay, so remember this point that I made just here? This midpoint? Now it comes in handy. This midpoint right here is the point where we're going to sort of have the 2 trouser legs meet. Now we can do a generous little line coming down here just to sort of give us a guide on how far out we want to take our trouser legs. So that looks okay. I think that's okay. Alright, so let's go back to this point here, and all we're going to do is just slightly come up a little bit, and I don't know, we're joining them up here. That's alright, I guess. And you can do a couple of details for the legs if you'd like, just in here. There you go, whatever. Alright, so let's move on to the legs, which is always the fun bit for everyone. So we're going to start with the kneecap. So we're going to come just to about here, just below our little kneecap point, and do a little line that curves off and goes up on a bit of an angle, falls short of this point here, and sort of curves up towards it. And the reason we do that one is because we can sort of replicate it on the other side, bring it down and sort of cross right there. So now we know where the thigh part of the trouser leg is going to be. Okay, so we'll come over to this side, and now we're going to cross over this point because we're going to go around the kneecap now. So we're going to go around the kneecap, we're going to come up, and we're going to go straight up here, following a sort of guide. Now you can curve it a little bit if you'd like, or add a little bit of flair to it, do whatever you want, but I'm going to keep it fairly basic, and I'm just going to bring it in about there. Looks like a nice point, so about in line with this point here. Looks fair for me. We've got 2 little points just up here because we do have a curve in the trouser leg. Goku's design is pretty simple. If you look at every design, his trousers, his gi, everything sort of has the same design. So once you've done it once, it's pretty easy to remember exactly where these lines fall. I might make a mistake here and there. I'm sure if I do make one, you guys are going to point it out to me. But yeah, just let me... Yeah, I'm a bit nervous here doing this like this. I mean, it would take me 2 seconds to actually pull up my reference on the computer. But I got so many apps running at the moment, well, so many things running on my computer, you can probably hear it right now. Yeah, doesn't matter, I don't care. Anyway, so let's sort of level this line out here. I know I'm at a bit of an angle as well. I am sort of tilting a little bit here. This isn't exactly straight. I'm sorry about that. I am drawing at an angle myself, but let's get on with this. So this point here, sort of where that kneecap joint is, we want to come a little bit up and just give it a bit more of a fold just in here. See, you've got these little folds, and we need those. And over here, we'll come a little bit underneath. We want to come up to where this line is that we made before, and we just want to start following it now. So we want to have it, you see what I'm saying? We want to follow that line that we made, that little guide. We can come in a little bit on it because obviously where the knee is, you get this sort of a thinner part of the leg than you would in the thigh or the calf area. So yeah, we'll come in a little bit here, and maybe we'll just, I don't know, we'll do a little guide, we'll just come down there. Whatever. Alright, so now let's figure out where the top of the shoe is going to be. Now this bit's going to be a bit tricky. I'm going to assume that the top of the shoe isn't going to have much of a distance between here. So we're going to go about here, and I may alter it as I go, but that looks okay. You can go as long as you want with the trousers, as long as you want with it, as short as you want with it, whatever. It's your design. Do what you want. But yeah, so where do I want this point to fall? Let's say about here, we want that there. Okay, so let's add a bit of flair to this trouser leg. We're going to bring it out a little bit, and then we're going to bring it back in. Alright, so let's just sort of curve it inwards, and let's start adding some folds down here, maybe one that will come around and go up under here. Okay, again up here we're probably gonna have a fold right the way up there, and for the sake of it, I don't know. Alright, so let's go up here. And there you go, we got one trouser leg. So let's now that we've got the one, we can sort of replicate on the other side. So yeah, let's get on with this. I'm probably going to time skip this a little bit just to get it done, but I will come back in a moment, guys. Alright, see you in a bit. Alright guys, so I'm back. Yeah, I did grab my reference in again just to make sure I was doing everything, and yeah, it's not too bad, is it? The trousers look alright. We look a little bit short here. I'm going to tilt this just so you can see that I am sort of getting it right. I'm just at a bit of an angle here. But yeah, so it's kind of bugging me that we're at this angle though. Damn it. But anyway, yeah, so let's start working on the shoes. Now all we're going to do is, because we know where the heel is going to be, we can start making some rough guides now, because I'm going to be very quick with this, because I don't want this to be a longer video than it needs to be, because it's a pretty long one already. We are going to fall below the guideline, and that's purely because his positioning in this guide that I'm using, his feet is sort of going up, like he's sort of flying, so his feet are downwards. It's, yeah. So, so yeah, let's just make some little marks here. Again, I'm not going to be the neatest I can be with those shoes. We don't need to worry about them too much. Let's move on to the arms. So with the arms, they pretty much fall in place. This is why I waited, by the way. This is why I waited for the arms to last, because the arms are usually the hardest part for me. So what I like to do is let them fall in place with the rest of the character. So sorry, I was just doing a little bit with the face here. Okay, so let's let the rest of this fall in. So we know the biceps going to be about here, and we know it's only going to come down to about here. So because I'm using a reference, I'm free to just pretty much use the reference as a guide, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just using the reference to guide me around the arm, and so I know where the certain points go and where the certain points meet. So I know that the forearm goes to about here before it meets the wrist guards, and they sort of come out to here, and then we can just sort of work out, well, wrist guard, it only comes to about there, so we can mark that bit off, and bring the hand in here. The hand doesn't come down too low. There's a thumb there. And there you go, there's one of the arms. Let's go on to the other side. What do we do here? Well, we know the arm's going to be here, and it only comes down to about there, just above this key. The biceps, quite big on this side, so we might have to scale that back a little bit, make it a little bit more sensible. Yeah, we know that that's going to be there, we know where this is going to go, and the rest of this, guys, is purely based on just looking at what we've already got on the paper and measuring every point and knowing where it needs to go. So yeah, with that said, guys, this was a very long tutorial, and if you stuck by to the end of this, then thank you so much. And if you did stick by to the end of this, then please comment Scooby-Doo, because then I'll know that you watched it all the way to the end, or you skipped to the end and you're a cheater. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this. I hope it helped you out. I hope you learned something today. I really do hope you learned something today, and if you did, please leave a thumbs up, let me know. And I did work pretty hard on this, so I hope you enjoyed it. Here's your tutorial on how to draw proportionate bodies. Thank you very much, and take care, guys. See you in the next video. Bye bye.